In a broken wasteland, come to my fire.
What's going on, Metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson. I am your host. Today we have Trve 2000 with us here from Black Rosary. Dude, how's it going?
It's going excellently.
I'm digging the Eddie in the background. The big looks like a big long tapestry that's going into the corner, and that's cool shit, man. I dig it.
I was just going to comment on how much I like your room.
Well, I mean, it's been a work in progress. We've got some Full Bleed Manufacturing, some Masters of the Universe, banned comic books, actually. That's a thing. So yeah, I mean, seeing it, this is the thing. I wish we could have got together to do this in person, but schedules and all that kind of shit and everything. But yeah, it's definitely been a work in progress in the Metal Forge over the last few years of doing shows, and especially doing video versions now. So, but dude, how the fuck are you? What's going on? How are things? Before we get to any band talk, what's been going on?
Well, you may know we just released an EP. That's something I'm very proud of after releasing only 4 singles. That's something I worked hard on over the last year, and we kind of got caught up in production and artwork for it. But after that, it's released, and now I'm already working on the next stuff to come out. So things are going smoothly for me.
Right on. Yeah, that seems to be the way it works. That you, being a musician, you're always, especially when you're in creativity mode and not just performance mode or anything like that, that you tend to write a lot, release some, and then you're immediately working on something new, because it's nature of the game. As you just had said, you kind of got tied up with artwork and production and stuff like that, but now that it's out, you're ready to go. And that's a thing, because those wheels turn really, really slow. Whether or not you waiting on somebody to do artwork or whatever. So what was the deal with it? What took the amount of time?
Well, initially, okay, so the EP started recording probably late last December, and I got the tracks done relatively fast, and I got them out to my producer, but he is also a touring musician, and so he had to complete his tour, and he had to get the tracks and produce them and go through various edits and stuff. And my artist, he's great. He had to work on it. He had to work on it quite a bit and balance a job and another full-time job and come back to it, do a little bit here and a little bit there. So we were all just kind of in weird places in life at the same time. But now things are very much smoothed out.
Hell yeah. And that is the thing, that's the part of the game that I absolutely love, is having somebody else's hands involved with your art. Whether it's an artist, whether it's a producer, somebody that's mixing and mastering things for you, even just a good opinion, a good person to bounce on an idea off of, that is so cool to have. And yeah, especially like on the visual art aspect of, making covers and things like that, is, yeah, this is cool, but could you change this to this color Pantone and see how it works? Or if it's like black and whites and grays, changing into that stuff, it's like, what about if you, so tell everybody in Metal Forge land about the band. Like what is Black Rosary? What is, give us a rundown.
I'll give you the entire history if you want.
That is amazing. Like, Genesis this.
Yeah, okay, I will. Okay, so back in 2023, we started as a garage band because my good friend Malachi Sweetser was learning how to play bass. Uh, he had never taken up a musical instrument before, and I'm a bass player primarily. So
Sure.
I was like, I'll teach you, and we started up a band because I said, if you don't have a band to play with, you're never going to get that good. And my brother could play the drums, so we went over to his basement and we were just writing simple songs. And then I was like, well, we might as well put lyrics on it. Maybe we could get a show. And Black Rosary was in its infancy. It was a very different type of music. It was more like doom metal. I was doing distorted vocals. The music was very slow, stuff that a learning bass player could play. You know what I mean? And very quickly we outgrew that. He put in a lot more work than I thought he was going to. He was practicing like 6 hours a day, and he got technical very fast. So I was like, well, let's just switch genres to my favorite, traditional heavy metal, right? And now I'm writing all this Iron Maiden sounding stuff, and then I have to learn how to sing, and that was a pain in the ass. If you listen to my earlier recordings, you'd be like, "Wow, this boy can't sing," but I'm getting pretty good at it now. And then we were like, "Well, we need a band name," and we were sitting there coming up with stuff, and he was like, "Black Rosary. That's it. It's simple. It's 2 words. It's just like Iron Maiden." I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's do it." And from then on, which that's about when we started releasing things. It went from being a jam band to more of a duo. We were doing drums. Our drums are electronic. They're virtual on the albums and stuff. I didn't want to pay for studio time just for somebody to come in and mess up. And they sound just as good to me. I mean, I've never had anybody go, "Hey, your drums are fake." So that worked well for me. Um, and it carried on like that up until actually just earlier this week. And my bass player decided he didn't want to do it anymore. So now it's just Black Rosary with Draven 2000. And
Oh, wow.
as much as I'll miss having his bass lines on there, production will be smoothing out a lot more because I can just hammer everything out in one day. I can put guitars, bass, vocals on it and be done. And that's a song ready to be produced, you know. So
Right,
uh,
right, right.
it's sad, but it's also optimistic for the future of Black Rosary because, well, things will be moving so much faster now with only one creative influence.
Well, and I often think of bands like High Spirits, Midnight Haunt. A lot of those bands already have that same thing, where they just have live musicians play, where one person writes and records everything. And so is that a possibility going into the future? Like you want to have like a live band where you can get together and possibly do some shows here and there?
Yeah, I would love to play live. I have a guitarist who wants to go. I have a drummer who said he'd play for some money, and I guess I could do bass if I needed to, bass and vocals. I'd rather just do vocals. So if you know any good bass
Sure.
players, send them my way. Uh, we we're interested in opening for Sigmatic on some shows. I'm fine with being an opener. I want to get on and off as quick as I can. So if people like the music and like what we're doing, I'd love to play.
Absolutely. And that's what it's about, is being able to put out music. It's very much a content driven world these days, but being able to put out new music is really ideal. And you're right though, where it is kind of now more of a streamlined thing where you can just throw everything in and do it. You don't have to rely on having somebody else come in and cut anything. Yeah, the camaraderie kind of sucks, but now it is a complete vision for you.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like I can do what I want now. I don't have to be beholden to
Right.
anybody's wishes. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And not saying that egos flare or anything like that, because that never happens in bands. Egos never flare. Nobody ever, gets mad because they can't hear themselves in the mix or think that they should be higher in the mix or whatever, but that never happens. So At least you don't have to deal with that either.
Well, I never had that issue with them. I think that it came down to he wanted something he could contribute a little more to. All the lyrics in my music are they're meaningful to me in a way that they come from like this world building project I have, kind of like a
Sure.
Dungeons and Dragons thing. Yeah, so he wasn't really in the know on that, and he's like, well, I don't want to just do bass lines, so I can respect that. It's he felt like it was my solo project and he was tacked on, and I can completely get why you wouldn't want to be a part of that.
That makes sense. And that's an unfortunate thing that, we all have to go and do our thing where we feel like we're most valued. Not saying that he's not, but it's to the degree of just like, I've been there as a bass player myself. I know how it goes. When you get strapped with just the bass player thing, not,
Yeah,
it does kind of suck. But, a lot of band leaders have been bass players, in past bands. So, look at Paul
well, yeah, I
McCartney.
mean, for
He's a
sure, my favorite all time bass player is Steve Harris, and we wouldn't have Iron Maiden without him. So
Yep, total band leader.
yeah,
Gene Simmons was a total band leader.
yeah.
I would often argue that Cliff Burton was a definite band leader. He definitely steered them in the way to Master of Puppets.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I would argue that their music kind of went downhill after his death too. So
oh yeah,
take
no,
that
I
as
mean,
well.
no, I totally see the argument with that, and you know, it's one of those things where people have debated it for 30 fucking years at this point. Um, but no, so what's coming up next, obviously, because with the EP just coming out, by the time we're recording this, by the time this airs, it's probably been out for a few days, I would say. A few days.
Yeah, yeah.
um so what does 2025 have in store going forward?
Well, you can expect another EP coming out later this year, probably towards I would say probably towards October, November, somewhere around there. And then going into 2026, I will start working on my very first concept album, which I'm happy to undertake such a big task. I would say I've never done it before. I've never been a part of one, so I'm eager to see how it's going to turn out.
I mean, isn't that already what you're kind of doing? With you said that you wrote lyrics from kind of like a D&D like world building scenario.
Yeah, it is what I'm doing,
So,
but they're all disconnected. I'm trying to get one linear
okay.
story going. Yeah.
Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense now, which is totally rad because being in a band doing that as well right now is totally cool. And finding out things in like, how can you tell the story in song of what you want the entire thing to be, as well as how do you, because we're a visual species as well, how do you tell the story visually with it? Is it album artwork? Is it music videos? Is it, single, like individual single artwork that you put together and it makes this like mosaic kind of thing? Is I think that's a cool idea too. And bands have totally done it in the past, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I think as musicians, modern musicians, there's kind of there's a neglect of the visual aspect of it. You see a lot of simplified album covers where it's just some abstract art or like a solid color, and that kind of thing really it makes me see why people fell out of love with metal because you imagine as well, I imagine you probably lived through it, but back in the day, you go to an album store, you see a
I'm
really
not a,
cool
I'm
album
not a
cover.
hundred, man. No.
Well, you
I'm
were
kidding.
alive during the 80s, were you not?
Yes, I was, but not buying albums in the 80s. No, but I know what you're saying is going to record stores, digging through the stacks to see what was there, buying an album off of a visual alone.
Yeah, something you've never heard of, but you're like, dang, that's a cool demon or something on the picture.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out.
Sure. Yeah. I actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. I was scrolling through, reels the other day, and it was one of James Hetfield holding, Iron Maiden. And he said that he bought it based on, he's like this right here. And he's pointing at Eddie
Yeah,
on the cover, that looks so insane. That's just like, what is this that I have to listen to this? And I've done that too. I've done that. There's a band called Malaya Rage that's kind of a thrash band from up around Maryland, I believe. It's either Boston or Baltimore. It's something like that. Um, but yeah, totally saw an album in a record bin, and it was like 6.99. Snatched it up. Best One of the best bands I've ever heard. Completely
so
fucking jams.
you gotta have good album art. It's
Yeah, and
necessary.
yeah, and it is necessary even in a digital world. I think you have to have good album art that draws out. That it's, even with it being a thumbnail, people still look at it. It's got to be something that somebody wants to, when they're in their feed, that they see it and they want to comment, like, who's the artist on this, or holy shit, this is something that I've got to look into because this is still just visually breathtaking.
Yeah,
And and you're right.
yeah.
I think a lot of people do neglect that.
It's unfortunate too because there are some sleepers out there, but the boring album cover, I'd never click on it unless it was like forced into my feed or something, you know.
Sure. So now, are you also wanting to do like physical releases as well, or
I would
limited
love,
run physical release?
yeah, I would love to do vinyls at some point, like some on collector edition type thing, maybe do five or something. That'd be great. But I don't feel like I have the following for that yet. Very slow growth, but I haven't been aggressive in my marketing or anything, so I'm
Right.
not sure.
Well, and obviously, though, that's a thing that, you know, slow growth is good over time, because that's what matters, is it's retention at that point. So it's like the ones who, that, when you have fast growth on something, you hit viral overnight, there's a good chance that you're going to be forgotten about in a week or two. But that slow growth is a good thing, because then it's people that are actually invested and interested in what you're doing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would like to see. I would rather have like 40,000 total followers my whole life that just love the music than have like 2 billion who just wear the shirts because they think it looks cool, you know.
Sure. And they can't name three songs.
Yeah, like you see the
The
teens at the
meme.
malls, they're wearing like Nirvana shirts. They've never even heard of them. They're like, "Oh, I thought that was a fashion brand."
Oh my gosh, that's, yes, I totally remember those days. Those I mean, it's still going on, but it's still, even back in the early 2000s and the mid 90s, it still went on. It's just without the internet.
Yeah, it's just whatever's newest at the hot topic, put it on.
Shit. I'm talking the CNC connection, the FYE, before
Oh
fuck
yeah.
before Hot Topic. Fucking, I remember fucking, those are some weird, dude, those shops in the mall, you know, insane stuff. Like, being from the Louisville, Southern Indiana area, there's some stuff out there you could Google, like Jefferson Mall 1995 or some shit, or 1985, and pictures and videos and shit will come up. It's crazy shit. It's definitely worth a watch.
And I remember Jefferson Mall in like the early 2000s. That was a different animal. It sucks now, but it used to be like
Dude,
the
almost
hangout
all
spot.
malls suck now.
Yeah, I know. It's just
I
like
wonder how the
the
Mall of
same.
America's doing in this time.
I've never I've never seen or been there, but
I'm Yeah, neither have I. I know it's up in Minnesota. It's like the biggest mall in America. It's the Mall of America. It's the biggest one. So yeah, who knows? Fucking and you know that's the interesting thing too is how like metal culture has changed over the years like that, where you know where it changed from places that were in flea markets and individual like brick and mortar shops and stuff like that to going to places like FYEs and Sam Goody and you know the chain stores and the mall stores and things like that, and then just now it's all digital almost. You know,
yeah,
you do have some like independent brick and mortar, but like not. I mean, I don't know of an actual record store that's not independently owned in Louisville.
yeah.
That's that's not in like a Best Buy or and even though Best Buy doesn't even carry shit anymore. Walmart does, but it's fucking who wants to go there?
It's not metal either. It's like greatest hits albums.
Yeah, it's like no, my favorite thing that they have is the fucking 3 CD sets where it's like a cover band performing those songs from that band. And on the third disc, they have cover bands performing songs that influence those bands.
I haven't seen that, but that
Yeah,
sounds
like
like
there's one for Maiden. It's a 3 disc set for Maiden. It's got like 27 Maiden songs that are all done by cover bands on the first 2 discs. And on the third disc, it's got like Doctor Doctor, fucking all that, you know, like UFO, Uriah Heep, all these other fucking like Blue Oyster Cult tracks, but they're done by the cover band also. And it's so fucking weird. It's like are they even paying the rights to this shit at some
yeah.
point? It's like
I
here's $1 million check. This is what we're gonna do. Yeah, okay, sure.
yeah, I wouldn't listen to anything like that. I mean, it's hard to find a good Iron Maiden cover anyway. It was same with most covers actually. Most of them just seem so half-assed, but every once in a while there'll be a cover and I'm like, I like this better than the original.
Oh
But
no, I totally get it.
probably not on that CD
Well,
set.
I mean, I think Motorhead's version of Whiplash is pretty goddamn amazing upside of Metallica's. You know, that's a good one. Um, Yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, though. I mean, it is there is a lot of historical rewrite going on with a lot of cover songs done by other people. You know, just like you know, some who was it? Was it Children of Bodom who did Shot in the Dark?
I know they did Aces High. I've never seen their Shot in the Dark one.
Yeah,
I
or
know Powerwolf
somebody
did
did
Shot in the
Shot in
Dark.
the Dark, and it was a band like that, and it was just kind of like, no, no, thank you, no, no.
Um, well, while we're on the subject, I mean, what do you think about how the definition of metal is kind of shifting? Like, it used to be 1978 Stained Class by Judas Priest. That was like the heaviest metal you could get. And now it's like that would be considered classic rock almost. Like
Well,
metal is this like it's got to have screaming and distortion and it's like it's not metal if it's not. I mean, it'd be debatable
well,
if they want to call my music metal at this point.
okay. So metal, I always think is a broad genre, no matter what it is. I mean, because when you look at per capita of like music genre, metal is pretty much the only one that goes, it's this, but it's this version of this version of this version of that version of this. of
Yeah.
this overall branch of style of music.
Yeah,
It
we have
it
a
be
lot of subcategories.
there is well, I mean, I would honestly say that there are per capita there are more subcategories in metal than probably all other music combined.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because like I don't think you're going to get a lot of postmodern country. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's not a thing. You don't hear that. It's like, but the only thing that you hear in that regard is country's not country anymore.
yeah.
Arm shakes. Um, and you know, to me, it always comes back to, the adage of rock is dead. People have said that for years. Is it? No, obviously it's not, because if it were, we wouldn't be doing, there wouldn't be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of podcasts out there about metal music, being one of them. There wouldn't be, I don't know, an almost it's metal is like covertly underground, you
It's back where
know
it came from, I'd say.
Yeah, it's like it's not in the mass, but it is in the mass when you get bands like, the ones who had to take those steps to do what they did. Metallica's, Slayer's, Megadeth's, they had, all of those bands do something that they all have their cog in the wheel that's making up even stuff that they still sell albums today, so bands like ours can sell albums too.
Yeah, I mean, well, as far as I know, Metallica is still the biggest band in the world, and that's a metal band. So,
Right.
I don't see how you could say rock is dead until like a rap artist is the biggest act in the world, you know?
Well, I mean, I think the overall concept of what rock and roll was about might be dead, because it's about standing up, for, you know, bucking the system, and not fucking bowing down to fucking bullshit. And has it kind of lost that? I think so. So in
Yeah,
maybe
I would
that
agree.
regard. But as you were saying about the, stained class 1978, no, you're totally right. I mean, and even look at Killing Machine, which, you know is what, the next album, or Hellbent for Leather in America.
Yeah, you got to
Uh,
censor it, man. This is America. We don't have that kind of
yeah,
you
we
can't
don't
you
have
can't
that
have
kind of
that kind of
talk
talk
here.
here. Yeah.
I think they finally released it here that way.
Yeah, it's on YouTube Music that way. So I
Yeah, it's
assume, yeah,
listed as Killing Machine. And
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, when they released the box set, the remastered set, it was reverted back to Killing Machine for that too, I think.
yeah. It always bothered me how like we don't oh you can't call it Killing Machine, but we have a band called Infant Annihilator. Like that's not so much worse.
Oh yeah, but well, I mean, but back at the time, was Infinite Annihilator a thing in
No, no, I just mean
1979?
like even up until like the 2000s, they still censored it as Hell Bent for
Oh yeah,
Leather.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like on any reprints and shit like that. Yeah, but
yeah,
I mean, yeah, Infinite Annihilator, Anal Cunt, Pantera. Take your pick.
yeah.
No,
I
but
would argue Pantera. That's not an offensive name. It's just a car, bro. Like can't get mad over that.
and it's Panther
Yeah,
in Spanish, and it was a porn star. And probably in that amount of time that, that they were watching, and named the band after her, I'm sure. But anyway, that's beside the point. um you know I don't know, I don't think metal is that deal yet, because ultimately priests were on the front of a lot of things. When you look at albums like Rockarola, Sad Wings, those albums, those earlier albums, it is more hard rock oriented. It does fit in line with things like Rush and Kiss and AC/DC. But in that same regard, at the time, they were probably like pushing the envelope of being like, wow, this is really heavy compared to those
Yeah.
bands.
Well, I mean,
And
if you go listen to Rush and then you go listen to Ripper, Ripper's obviously the heavier of the two, you know.
oh,
Like you hear
sure.
Judas Priest do the Ripper, he's singing about Jack the Ripper. You listen to Rush, he's singing about driving a car through the country. I mean, obviously one of those is more metal oriented than the
You just
other.
went into Red Barchetta. Cool. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, absolutely. But no, you get like, I mean, take like Vital Signs, for example, the song from Rush. I think Vital Signs is ultimately one of the heaviest, like, lyrical songs I've ever read, and it's definitely a thought-provoking thing, which is where, I often say that, things can be heavy, but they don't necessarily have to contain distorted guitars to be heavy.
Yeah, I was going to say that my definition of heavy metal relates way more to lyrics than it does to music.
Sure.
I mean, like if you listen to Damnation by Opeth, it's an acoustic album, but the lyrics are so heavy that I can only call it heavy metal, you know, even though it's really like a jazz type of album.
Sure. And honestly, I mean, I've said the same thing about Hank Williams Sr. because, some of the things that he sang about were straight up fucking heavy metal, dude. Lost Highway is one of them, That's fucking succumbing to addiction and shit like that,
Yeah.
and that's crazy shit to know that that was fucking in the 50s,
See
or in
that
the
that kind of
40s,
thing when you
before
have
the
modern,
advent of rock and roll.
yeah, way ahead of its time. And when you have metal these days, and it'll be lyrics will be about something silly like going to a party and getting drunk, and I'm like, dude, that's not metal just because you're screaming. Like it means
Sure.
nothing. You're talking. You might as well be AC/DC. You know,
Well,
there's
and
nothing
and
wrong
I
with
don't
that,
know.
but
And even
you know,
still, even with AC/DC, yeah, they have their songs that are like that, but they have their straight up fucking heavy songs about, just fucking crazy shit that goes on. I mean, same thing with Kiss. They definitely fit the party rock thing as well. Singing about the Rager, but like Municipal Waste.
yeah,
Has stuff like that. Municipal Waste, Belushi Speedball. Kiss, AC/DC. Well, I mean, that's what Whiplash is about. Is about the show. You know, about playing metal shows.
yeah. I just prefer uh, lyrics of more heavy subject matters. I mean,
Sure, more
that's
substantial.
yeah,
Not everything has to be a parody. Not everything has to be a tongue in cheek kind of thing. You do it well with, okay. So I'm going to take Motorhead for example here. Um, they could definitely do the thing where, love me like a reptile, you know, or snake bite love, where they have their tongue in cheek fucking like kind of thing that they do, like goofy fucking sex song type shit. But like, that's the thing, they did it in a way that was not to be a joke.
yeah, yeah.
And I
And see,
think that's
Black
where we're getting.
Rosary, we're kind of the opposite. Well, I mean, we were, but now it's just me. We started and it's like, okay, very serious lyrics, very serious music, but then we want it to be outwardly goofy live. That's why my name is Draven 2000. It's silly. It's a stupid stage name, and we dressed in all the leather and the studs and stuff, and had the longest names you could come up with, and it was always supposed to be a parody of live shows, but with music that once you look into it, you can actually get some substance out of them.
Sure. Absolutely. So let's check over into Derailed, some random questions about you as a person. We've already got some info. Looking for another EP coming out this year. Fuck yeah. Definitely going to have all of our stuff going to it. but yeah, these are just about you. So kind of sans Draven 2000 here, and be be you. Uh, what's one thing you've never been afraid to do?
Uh, I would say play on stage. I never ever got nervous. My first show, I just went up there and played. I've never had to have a drink before or anything. I like to be the center of attention on the stage, and you know how hard that is as a bass player. So you really got to make it work.
Yeah, we every bass player wants to be the center of attention, and we fall short of everyone else, even the drummer.
Hey, I never have. Go watch me on Sigmatic. You'll see.
For sure. Um, what is one thing that you've always been afraid to do?
Oh Lord. Um, I'd say go to war. I don't want to go to war.
Yeah, like is in like actually having to pick up a gun and fight, or you know,
Yeah.
or being bombarded like other places are currently being. Yeah.
I feel like it wouldn't be like I wouldn't have time to be scared if like America got bombed because obviously you got to fight for your freedom at that point. But the concept of a draft always bothered me. I would hate to have to go, you know, working on an EP or something. Next thing I know, I got to go fight in the middle of the desert for a war I don't even believe in. I would hate that.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, that's an interesting thing that you say, because there was like I said earlier, seeing some reels and stuff. And one of them that I had seen was a guy on a show where he was talking about how he broke in through this guy's house, or his apartment rather, at 2 in the morning, and shot him because he was going for a gun because they were in war. And he was just like, you know, he's like, I often think about that guy. And it's like, what if he's like, was he funny? You know, what he's like, if I would have met him in France, and you know, and we had a coffee together, would it have been exponentially different? Like, you know, would I've actually appreciated this person? And
Yeah.
yeah,
It's something I think about a lot too. You know, you kill young men killing a lot of young men when you never know that could have been the drummer you were missing to your band. You know, if you want to relate it to the music, you know, you could
sure.
have jammed together. Yeah, you could have they could have helped you make some art for it. You know, and you just don't know. You're killing for somebody else's orders. It might not even benefit you at all. You know, it might not
Right.
benefit your country, your family. It's just a shame, I think.
No, no, you're absolutely right. You know, and I've been like really like into a fucking like Star Wars tangent lately. With the ending of season 2 of Andor, I went back and watched Clone Wars for the first time and watched the Bad Batch. And just like some of the shit that goes on in those storylines, where you're just like, wow, that is like, it's heartbreaking to watch, even, you know, fictional things of it, when the fictional things, you know, are getting to you also. That's, you know, it definitely makes you think about like real shit that's going on.
Yeah, it's just it's no good for anybody, you know,
No,
and it's a
it's
shame that it
definitely,
has to happen at all.
you're absolutely right, and I 100% agree with you. um if you could change any one thing about the way you were raised, what would it be?
Uh, I would love to have a lot more time. This is more my fault than anybody, but I would have loved to spend a lot more time with my father while we were living in the same house together. He's still alive, but we don't see each other near as much as we used to, and there was a lot of knowledge I felt like I missed out on because I would rather play video games or something. So. Uh, yeah, I wish I could have spent more time with him and got more life lessons.
Absolutely. I totally get that. Had a situation one time where I went and stayed the night at a friend's house, and I was waiting to be taken back home because this was before I drove. And it like turned into like later that day and later and then later and then later. And my dad drove a semi truck and I hadn't seen him in like 2 weeks or better. And I missed seeing him because they didn't give me a ride home until like way fucking later and shit. And, mom said something to me about it, about like, you got to pay attention to stuff like that. It's like, because dude's not going to be around forever. And yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Towards the end, when I was 14, uh, dad actually gave me his old bass, and that's what got me into music. Um,
Hell yeah.
so that was something we really got together about, and to an extent, we still do talk a lot about it. But it'll never be the same as when we were all living under one household, you know?
Well, for sure. No, I totally
Yeah.
get it. Do you still have the bass?
Oh yeah, I play it on stage sometime. It's a BC Rich NJ series neck through Warlock.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell
It
yeah.
was,
Does he have stuff that's recorded out there and out on the interwebs and shit?
no, no, he played in a few bands out in Campbellsville. As far as I know, they were mostly covers, but they had some originals. But he had one of those situations where all the band members would rather chase girlfriends than pursue the band. So you know how
Sure.
that goes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you could have a themed birthday party, what would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. It's between sci-fi or fantasy. I mean, I tend to go more towards fantasy, but yeah, I mean, a general like a Renaissance fair birthday would be kind of sick. You ever been to the Renaissance fair in Eminence?
Yes, I have actually. It's pretty dope. Um, yeah, coming up here soon, I'm gonna have some details about a video shoot where we're hoping to get a bunch of the Ren Fair people involved with it. So
It was a.
hell yeah.
I did a YouTube video last year at the Ren Fair just interviewing people. It got a lot of views. It was a blast.
Dude, that's as much as sit there and I say I hate the idea that we have shifted from you were talking about the definition of metal. I think the definition of music has changed from art to content.
Yeah, yeah, I would
And
agree.
just doing things like that, just keeping relevant somehow is all you can do. I mean,
I,
uh,
I would say I would never sacrifice the artistic integrity of my music for views. I don't give a shit about views and subscriptions and stuff. If they come, they come. But more importantly,
sure.
I care about getting music that I care about out into the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I always think that, it's a snapshot of our lives at the time, and especially like if if you put out albums and songs and EPs and whatnot, and then like you have like one a year for 3 or 4 years, and then you just take a break, and when the next thing comes out, is it, you know, it's ultimately going to be different because the time has changed. You're a different person. Each one of those, the time has changed, so you're a different person.
Yeah, well, it would be boring to write the same thing multiple times anyway.
Well, sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
people want to
If you,
see how you change.
yeah, well, at least I think they do. I mean,
Well,
obviously
sometimes they
not
think they
not
do, but
not
they
in, not
don't.
in the way of Metallica. People didn't want to see that,
No,
not at all.
I, I would argue that that was more a symptom of them trying to trend chase the grunge era than it was them doing what they really felt like they needed to do. I think they kind of went corporate in that regard.
Yeah, and honestly, there was some interesting stuff that went on. Like, apparently, Elektra were going to drop them from the label because they were becoming too expensive
Mm,
to maintain and that's when Elektra sold out to Warner Brothers.
Is that who Dave Mustaine named his daughter after? Her
Elektra?
name's it's Electra Mustaine. I was just wondering if it
Oh,
was. Yeah,
maybe
it's like,
name. Well, there's a guitar company that was Elektra also.
oh, that's probably more
That's
realistic.
probably that's probably more of his speed. Or and maybe I don't know. If
Maybe it
you
was
could
a pinball
retire at
machine.
40, what would you do?
Uh, I plan to retire before 40. I've already got this planned. Look, I'm going to focus entirely on my artistic pursuits. It'll be music. I want to learn how to draw. I wouldn't mind learning how to do some video game design. I would even dip into cinematography a little bit, even though filming has never been my favorite thing. I don't think it would be I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility for me to try directing. I think that would be
Sure.
pretty cool. So if I could, I mean, if I could retire tomorrow, even I'd probably first thing I'd do is probably travel everywhere I wanted to go.
Right.
Then after that, I would pursue any artistic pursuit I thought was worth my time.
Hell yeah. I totally get behind that. Because yeah, if you could just do what you want to do.
Exactly.
Don't be fucking chained
Nobody
down to
should
the
tell you.
man.
I'm a firm believer that every man should be his own master, and it disheartens me that America has kind of got this you got to depend on somebody else for your money type of thing, you know.
Sure. Yeah, when it's all fucking made up anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
you see how things are going. We got AI and stuff. There's not going to be any jobs anytime soon.
sure.
Yeah,
I mean, Skynet's happening. I mean,
yeah,
it's happening. I mean, and AI is working on the podcast right now.
yeah.
Even as we speak, it is because it's giving me a rundown of what we talked about. It's that smart to give me a summary of the show that so now we're talking about it writing about itself in some kind of weird fucking like what digital chain fucking goofiness are we just getting into here?
It's getting meta.
Yeah, no shit. No shit. Who is your favorite movie villain?
Ooh, you caught me off guard with that one. Um, Dang, I want to say Immortan Joe from Fury Road. You know what I'm talking
Wow.
about?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know who you're talking about.
I would say that's a great villain because even though he was a horrible person, I kind of root for him anyway, because he's just so badass.
Uh I get that. I think he looks the part. He looks like a fucking menacing villain. He
Yeah,
really does. And the fact that, pretty much Maiden used that, in what the was it on the Book of Souls tour? Or was it on no, it was on this most recent the music video that was like Balthazar's Feast
oh
that they
yeah,
put out the big what writing on the wall, is that it?
yeah,
Uh
writing on the wall.
yeah, where it's like got all the fucking like Immortan Joe and shit like that against all the Eddies, and yeah, that's a pretty good one.
That was
I
a
dig
great
that.
movie.
Um Honestly, for me, best villain is probably still gonna have to be Emperor Palpatine.
You're a Star Wars nerd, aren't you?
I am. And I mean, Skeletor, because I'm a Masters of the Universe nerd too.
Yeah,
I mean, or, the sheriff, Alan Rickman is the sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in the 90s. It's a fucking menacing fucking piece of shit villain. But no, like the Emperor, just for, like watching all the, like I said, the expanded universe stuff now is
yeah.
just so crazy to see, like, you know, Project Necromancer. sir.
He's a clever bastard, isn't he? He
He's
was pulling strings.
he's definitely pulling strings for sure. Um, Dude, I have one more question, but before we get to it, as always, links are listed below. So please give likes, shares, and follows. Go do all the things, all the stuff. Go buy merch. Go buy the music. Bandcamp, fucking Spotify, YouTube. All of those things will be listed. Um, Dude, do you have any shout outs you would like to give, or anything else you'd like to promote today,
Yeah,
or anybody
like
you'd like to
shout
tell to
out.
fuck off? I don't care.
That would be rude. I'm not about that. Hey, this is passion right here. I'm not telling anybody to fuck off.
That's
Um,
absolutely right.
uh,
Unless it's like the president, you can tell him to fuck off.
yeah, I don't care about any of those old bastards in Washington. I don't care who it is.
Yep, me either.
Make me overlord of America and see a new age of prosperity. That is what I say.
Make America metal again.
That's right. M-A-M-A,
It's the
mama.
mama movement.
Hell yeah. Um, okay, I'd like to give a shout out to Sigmatic. By the way, you should hit up Ben. He wants to be
Yeah.
on the show. So yeah. Uh, that's my other band. I play bass. I write some of the songs. I write some of the guitar parts. I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Bo and Benedict. He plays guitar. He was in Sigmatic for a little bit. He's a shredder. He's hardcore. I'd like to give a real shout out to JT Shea. He's in a band called I think it's the Heartbreakers. They're out of Nashville, Tennessee. If you
Yeah,
look
he
up
used to
JT
be
Shea, you'll
Stolen
see his
Prayer.
band. Yeah, he was in Stolen Prayer. He's my producer. I love him
Yep.
very
I
much
know.
because
He's been on the Metal Forge.
he's been here.
Yep. A few
Oh, good
years ago.
one. I'm
Yep.
following in his footsteps.
Hell
If it
yeah.
was back when they were in Stolen Prayer, I was in the band then because I wanted to be on the show too, and they didn't even invite me. I was like, you
Oh,
bastards.
yeah, it was him and CC.
CC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
They
already
they
knew
they
that.
actually came to my house, and we sat in the living room and dining room area, and just talked bullshit.
So that was back in 2022, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably. It was
Yeah.
before they moved. Yeah.
Hey, I would have come over. You should have given me the option. I
Well,
would I'd be right
we
there
could
right
st-
now.
we could still do it.
I'm on my way right now.
All right.
Yeah, as far as telling people to fuck off, every politician, get out of
Yes,
here.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Burn it down. Leave your schools. Trash your homework. That's what I say.
Hell yeah, man. Like, no, like seriously, like fucking
Yeah, for real.
they're the ones making shit fucking harder for fucking normal people out there. People like you and I and fucking the male person, you know.
Yeah, fucking like how you gonna be mean to the male person, dude? They're that's a noble institution.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be, but I
Well,
mean,
yeah, it's
but
been
they do
corrupt by
fucking
years of
beat the shit.
neglect.
They
Yeah.
do beat the shit out of fucking lunch boxes that get sent to you. Uh, like they did to
Did,
me, like my
did you get like a
fantastic.
special lunch box?
Yeah, Jason Gardner from the Heavy Metal Wasteland and the Ale Horn sent me a Phantasm lunchbox,
Oh,
and it came in all beat to shit. Like seriously, like they fucking literally punched this motherfucker into my mailbox.
they're like fuck back, Phantasm. I hate it.
Well, no, I mean they didn't know what was in the fucking package. They just knew
You don't
that
know that.
hey,
They could have used
they
their X-ray glasses out of the back of the comic book. You don't know.
they could have. They very well could have. Um, my final question of the day is, what advice do you think your future self would give to you?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Let's see. They probably would have said that I shouldn't have spent all that money on the Corvette, and I probably should have invested it in the music instead.
Absolutely. Dude, thank you, Draven 2001, 2,
Yeah.
3. Uh Dude, thank you for coming to the Metal Forge this week. This has been some fun shit. On our way out today from Black Rosary, what do you want to play?
Oh, from Black Rosary. Put on the Agony of the Damned.
You've got it. The Agony of the Damned.
I want to know your opinion on it too.
Ah, of course.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com, and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza Donisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza Donisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series.
unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles, and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now.
Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code MetalForge10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my